Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on some recent news for the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel, TMNT 2, that should be coming out around 2017 or 2018 from what I know. The first piece of news, this one has been around for a while. Been wanting to give my thoughts on it, and then kind of just forgot, but kind of remembered after the second piece of news came out. So the first one is that Stephan Amell, who currently portrays Oliver Queen in Arrow, he will be portraying Casey Jones in the upcoming TMNT 2 movie. Uh, so yeah, actually I think that's actually a pretty good casting choice in my opinion. It's actually a pretty good casting choice in my opinion. I really do like it because Casey Jones, if you look at him in the comics and the animated TV show, for example here, or even in the movies like the animated TMNT movie that came out in 2007, or the live action TMNT ones from like 1990 and 1995, the third one TMNT 3, all the way back from back in the 90s. You have Casey Jones. I forget who the actor is that portrays him in those movies, but you basically have Casey Jones, and he's really this athletic guy. I mean, look at Stephen Amell and his character of Arrow, Oliver Queen Arrow, Green Arrow. He is an athletic guy. You know, he can do all these crazy stunts. So yeah, and now Casey Jones, he does do hand-to-hand combat similar to the Arrow. So again, I think it's a perfect casting choice in my opinion. Also because Casey Jones, also he uses more sports materials, if you know what I mean, like or sports equipment like baseball bats and hockey sticks and whatnot. Yeah, I don't think, not to my knowledge, I don't think though he possibly could have, but not to my knowledge. Basically, Casey Jones, I don't think he's ever used a bow and arrow. I mean, archery that could count as a sport. So I mean, it'd be pretty cool if we see him use a bow and arrow for a quick step or a crossbow for a quick second, as an homage to Arrow. So yeah, and I also find the casting choice a little bit funny in my opinion because you have you have the Arrow and the main star Stephen Amell, who works for DC, now working for like an independent company for the or independent comic book. Now working on a movie that's based on on an independent comic book, because basically TMNT has been through the ringer when it comes to their companies. They started off with Mirage. They've been with Image for a couple of while. And some of the few companies during the 90s and the early 2000s, and currently they're with IDW. I do not read the IDW comic book line. I have one or two comics from them, but I don't really read the comic book line. I have no idea why. I should really get on that though. I heard it's really great. So yeah, I'll leave a link down below for those who want to check out this news. Now, the reason I really wanted to make this video, aside from the fact the cast news, which that's kind of a second, which I was gonna make originally a couple months ago, but kind of weeks ago. Sorry, because the news isn't that new actually. It came out like late March, early April. The reason I actually decided to make this video is because we are finally gonna see Bebop and Rocksteady in the TMNT sequel. Yeah, when you think of TMNT, you obviously think of the four turtles: Splinter, Shredder, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, and Bebop and Rocksteady. Let's be honest, that's your top 10 greatest characters right there. All four turtles: Splinter, Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, April, and Casey Jones. Okay, yeah. Now, if you guys don't, now Bebop and Rocksteady, I actually really do love them. They're great in my opinion. They're really funny. They provide different type of comedic relief, different to Michelangelo. The reason I say that is because for the Turtles and Splinter, Michelangelo is like the comic relief. But for like when it comes to Shredder, it's usually Bebop and Rocksteady, and I think sometimes they're funnier than Michelangelo, and being funnier than Michelangelo is really hard when you think about it. So yeah, top three funniest characters in TMNT: Michelangelo, Bebop, and Rocksteady, right there. Yeah, I really do love them. Yeah, they were introduced for the TV show back in the 1980s. Basically, they're basically two common street thugs. Actually, they show their origin story here in the first season too. In episode 2, they showed their origin story, or episode 1, I don't remember which one. But basically, these two common street thugs and basically Shredder, he owns like the street thugs, if you know what I mean. He's like a kingpin at this point, or at least in a TV show. I don't know if they do that in the comics, but in the TV show, he's like a kingpin of sorts. And you have he has street thugs who are working for him, street gangs, street thugs, whatnot. So they're part of this one street gang, and basically Shredder decides to mutate them. Now the original concept for them is so they could for the TV show is that so they could add more mutants to the show. They were originally for the show similar to how Harley Quinn was original for the Batman Adventures animated series or something like that. So yeah, very similar, and they became so popular and so well liked and well received that they put them out in comics. Very great. If you want to see their origin story kind of in comics, I recommend you guys get the micro series TMNT IDW number 7, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the micro series issue 7, where basically it's like an origin story for Bebop and Rocksteady. I read it. It's actually a back issue. If anything, but I read it because Bebop and Rocksteady in here. Same thing. I'll probably do a review on this once we get closer to the release date. It's a really funny comic also for what it is. Yeah, the IDW comic book run is actually pretty good. I haven't really read much of it. I read this issue, and then I did a review for volume 7 or 8 of it that I got for my birthday last year or Christmas. I don't remember. Christmas or my birthday about last year, maybe a little bit over. So I got that and I reviewed it for the channel. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought that story arc was pretty decent. Not the best it could have been, but from some of the more recent story arcs that I've seen, from what I've heard, I think it's actually from what I heard, it's actually pretty great. I've also wanted to check out the current Nickelodeon TMNT. I've seen random episodes of it, and it really does, and I really do like it. But I kind of want to see it from the start. But also that's another great show. But yeah, for me, the OG, the 1980s. Yeah. Hopefully they do them justice. Hopefully they do them justice. Hopefully they do Shredder justice. Because if you saw the movie from last year, Shredder didn't get that much justice, if you know what I mean. Originally, Eric Sachs. Who was the actor for Eric Sachs already? I already forgot him. I want to say Will Shatner, but I know that's not him. Whatever the actor who portrayed Eric Sachs in the movie. He was in Pearl Harbor with, I believe that's another, he was in Pearl Harbor, which is another Michael Bay movie, I believe. Whatever, so Eric Sachs, his actor, originally he was meant to be Shredder, then, after the backlash, some white guy's gonna be a Shredder, they just hired this random ass Japanese guy to become Shredder, and then you kind of have Eric Sachs there on the sidelines, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing now? So hopefully they do Bebop and Rocksteady justice, because I think that they really kind of fucked up with the Ninja Turtles learning jujitsu and martial arts through a book that Splinter reads. They kind of they fucked up April O'Neil a long time ago with the casting choice. They fucked up Shredder with the different casting choices. But hopefully they don't fuck up Bebop, Rocksteady, and Casey Jones, especially with Casey Jones. You have a capable actor who can realistically be like that. If any complaints, which I have seen online, if any complaints, just make him grow his hair out a bit. And even that he can do, I'm pretty sure he could do, because we see him in Arrow sometimes in the flashbacks. He has his hair really long, and normally that's how Casey Jones is seen, either with a really long hair or some decently long hair, spiked up. So either way, I think Casey Jones, Arrow basically, Stephan Amell as Casey Jones, perfect perfect casting choice. And whoever they get for Bebop and Rocksteady, I know they're gonna. Hopefully, they show their origin story for Bebop and Rocksteady. I really want to know how they do their origin story. And yeah, overall, really. I'm not gonna actually no. That's a bit of an overstatement. I'm not gonna say I'm really excited for this movie, but I'm more excited for this movie now than I was before. Now that we have Bebop, Rocksteady, and Casey Jones. Now that's basically it for this review. Subscribe if you're already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the movie or the upcoming movie. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on Casey Jones being portrayed by Stephan Amell? What are your thoughts on it? He was on the Arrow, so I think you should give him some credit for that, if anything. He can at least do the moves, because I have heard that some people really don't like Stephan Amell's acting, and I see where he could come from. He does come sometimes. He does come off a little bit dull at times, I will admit. but you can't deny the fact that he can move. He can move a lot. He's very athletic and buff. You can't deny the fact that if you don't like his acting, you can't deny the fact that he's probably gonna do well in all his action scenes. And Bebop and Rocksteady, what are your thoughts on that? Do you like Bebop and Rocksteady? And if not, seriously, why not? Why don't you like Bebop and Rocksteady, for God's sakes? I mean, I understand if you haven't watched the show or really don't like TMNT as a whole. I could somewhat understand that. I don't know. I don't know how that could pass you, but whatever. But what are your thoughts on Bebop and Rocksteady? Yeah, that's all I really have to say. That's basically it for this review. Comment down below. Like the video, subscribe. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. And aside from that, that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.